Host Nepal have marked a winning start at the gateway to the Asia Cup, the ACC Men's Premier Cup. With an improved batting display following the appointment of Monty Desai as the head coach, the next clash against Oman will be a litmus test for the hosts, as only the winners of the tournament progress to the Asia Cup. Good evening, I'm Sarah Sapsanama. Let's begin with the headlines of the hour. Financial discipline of local levels in question as Office of the Auditor General reports of lack of seriousness in revenue projection and project selection. Candidates running the nearing by-election yet to reach the marginalized Chepang community. Aspirants in Bara constituency 2 in a race to convince voters. Nepal's capacity to produce electricity to double in the next 3 years. Government prioritizes construction of transmission lines. Prime Minister claims of making the country self-sufficient. And Nepal mark a winning start at the ACC Men's Premier Cup with a 6-wicket win over Malaysia. Hong Kong humbled Singapore by 8 wickets. President Ramchandra Paudel has been admitted to TU Teaching Hospital in the capital due to health concerns. President Paudel has been admitted to the hospital upon doctor's recommendation as he had reached the hospital to get a follow-up on his health status and also after reporting pulmonary difficulty. The president had received treatment a week back. President Paudel, who was treated last week, had reached the hospital on Monday for a follow-up. The President's Secretariat has said that he has been admitted to the hospital today due to problems in his chest. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal had earlier reached the hospital to check on the President. Now, of the total amount of transactions that the Office of the Auditor General audited, over 10% transactions were carried out at the metropolis and sub-metropolis level. The report has raised question on the ability of these local levels to execute programs and their financial discipline. There is a trend of local levels projecting ambitious revenues. However, apart from giving tax rebates, the metropolis and sub-metropolis have not been able to collect taxes from businesses. The Auditor General's office has highlighted that local levels have displayed weakening financial discipline with unnecessary administrative expenses and spendings on unproductive sectors. Due to failure to meet legal procedure during budget expenditure and arbitrary spendings by people's representatives, local levels' arrears have been increasing each year. Local levels have a total arrear of over 42,840 billion rupees against their budget of 534,550 billion. The Office of the Auditor General has recommended 749 local levels to cut down on spending on unproductive sectors and become result-oriented. By-election fervor has engulfed Chitwan electoral constituency too. Political parties and candidates are busy in their campaigns. However, the Chepang settlement in Ichakamana rural municipality, which is behind in terms of literacy and poverty, has yet to feel the election mood. Voters of the rural municipality have shared their grievances on being ignored by the candidates. Political parties and candidates are conducting their door-to-door campaigns in most parts of Chitwan for the approaching by-election for a seat at the House of Representatives. However, they have not visited the Chepang settlement in Ichakamana rural municipality. Local residents have said little could be expected in terms of development from the candidates who did not even ask for their votes. The Chepang community of the rural municipality still has no access to basic infrastructures, including drinking water, road, electricity, education, health institutions, and employment opportunities. The local residents are prepared to share their problems to their candidates. While the candidates are yet to reach their community for this election, the local residents are familiar with past instances where even the assurances made by the candidates remained ignored. Now, eligible Nepali nationals can register their candidacy for the election of the House of Representatives from any part of the country. There is a long list of parliamentarians who have been elected to the House from different electoral constituencies. However, accusations among candidates of the by-election about not belonging to the constituency has surfaced in Bara electoral constituency too. A total of 34 candidates are set to compete at the by-election for a seat at the lower house in Bara too. Of them, a few are the permanent residents of the constituency, while others are from different districts and constituencies. Those belonging to the constituency have begun alleging others from outside as their strategy to draw attention and support of the voters. Shiva Chandra Kuswaha is the forerunner in the matter. In recent elections in Bara too, most winners have belonged to other constituencies. Candidate of Janata Samajwadi Party Upendra Yadav is from Biratnagar 14, Morang, while Purushottam Podil, the candidate of CPN Yamal, is a resident of Nijgarh Municipality, Ward number 1 of Bara, and Rashtra Swatantra Party's candidate Ramesh Kharel is a resident of Kathmandu Metropolitan City, Ward number 31. The local candidates have been conducting their campaigns and asking for votes by saying that these three candidates are from other parts of the country and would not be able to understand the issues of local concern. Upendra Yadav and Purushottam Podil have been defensive in their responses to such claims of the local residents. While the candidates are playing the local resident card, the voters of Bara too have not paid attention to this issue. They are in favor of election of the deserving candidate. Nepal's electricity production capacity is to increase twofold in the next 3 years, with the current electricity capacity figuring at 2,650 megawatts. The Nepal Electricity Authority has said that Nepal would be producing 5,251 megawatts after 3 years, which would make Nepal a net exporter of power. A total of 133 projects of 3,223 megawatts are under construction, while preparations are underway for the construction of 91 projects of 1,902 megawatt capacity. Demand of electricity currently stands at 1,700 megawatts in Nepal, while it increases by 15 to 25% on a year-on-year basis. As most projects are based on the water level in rivers, production of electricity reduces drastically during winter. However, the government expects domestic production to be sufficient even during the winter season after 3 years. Based on the forecast of the authority, around 550 billion rupees will be spent for construction of infrastructures for transmission lines in the next 5 years. The government plans to prioritize domestic consumption after construction of required infrastructures. Addressing the Power Summit, which began today, Minister for Energy, Shakti Bahadur Basnet, said that efforts were underway to find international market for Nepali electricity and to increase domestic consumption. In addition to this, Minister Basnet added that a new law related to energy would soon be presented at the House of Representatives. At least 300 representatives of more than 30 countries, including India, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Sri Lanka, are attending the summit. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, today we've asked people in several provinces what problems have they faced in electricity supply. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
Load setting भइराख्ने हैन फ्रिजमा राखेको सामानहरु बिग्रिने कुइने
बजारका तारहरु नाङ्गा छन् गाडीहरुले छुने सम्भावना देखिन्छ
हाई भोल्टेज र लो भोल्टेजले गर्दाखेरि तपाईको विद्युतीय उपकरणहरु पनि क्षति भएका छन्
बिजुलीको एकदमै धेरै समस्या भइराको छ
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before today's question, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we'd asked you what's your take on the overwhelming number of applicants for the post of community school teacher. 14% voted for option A, affinity for teaching profession, 57% for B, seeking opportunity, and 29% for C, call to increase employment. And here's today's question. What do you term the management of waste of Singhadarbar inside its premises? Your options are A, response to the metropolis, B, appropriate move, and C, consequence of compulsion. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us.
Sports News.
Team Nepal have marked a winning start at the ACC Men's Premier Cup as they saw off Malaysia by 6 wickets. In the match played at Tribhuvan University Cricket Ground in Kantipur, Malaysia won the toss and elected to bat, where they were restricted to 235 runs for the loss of 9 wickets. Skipper Ahmed Faiz top scored for Malaysia with 76 runs, while Virendip Singh added 46. Despite other batters having their starts, none of them managed to make it large. Sandeep Lamichhane and Sompal Kami picked 3 wickets each, while Lalit Rajbansi had 2 scalps and Gulshan Jha had 1 wicket to his name. Meanwhile, a century from Babar Hayat helped Hong Kong thrash Singapore by 8 wickets in the Group B match played at the Mulpani Cricket Ground. After being put to bat first, Singapore were bowled out for 174 runs in 42.1 overs. Skipper Aritra Datta top scored for Singapore with 49 runs, while Aryan Modi scored 21 and Ramesh Kalimuthu added 18. Aishan Khan was the pick of the Hong Kong bowlers with 4 wickets. Yasin Murtaja had 3 scalps, while Ayush Shukla, Aizaz Khan and Mohammad Ghazanfar shared a wicket each. In reply, Hong Kong chased the target in 33 overs, losing only 2 wickets. Hayat remained unbeaten at 108 runs from 94 balls with 10 fours and 6 sixes, while skipper Nizakat Khan scored 51. Up next is the weather update. That is all for the moment. Up next is news in Nepali. Good night.